Hey everybody, welcome to Digital Moxie. As you can see, I wanted to talk about changing your ride up versus what you're driving. Which I made two videos profiling some of the vehicles that I had, and also I profiled in the latest video. It's on YouTube. If you check it out, uh, I brought my new vehicle. So here in this envelope, I have the title. It's a new vehicle that I bought. It's a 2006 Avalanche, Chevy Avalanche. That car at this moment has 140,000, 145,000 miles on it. No, I'm sorry, 140,000 miles on it. And I purchased it from a friend. I got a real good price on it. And if you followed my YouTube videos, then you know from the past that I had a 2012 Nissan Altima. And about a year ago, I was driving from Northwest Indiana all the way to Itasca, Illinois, and that right there is a pretty long haul. And it was probably 100 over 100 and something miles a day back and forth. And it was a hot summer, and just the wear and tear on the car. And I had never changed my transmission fluid or transmission oil because it's a self-encased transmission oil or fluid, and I should have changed it after like 80,000 miles or 100,000 miles, whatever it recommends. I don't have that actual information. I obviously didn't have it last year because it burned up my transmission. And the fact is that though Nissan is kind of notorious for having bad transmissions as far as CVTs go, I think the CVT has improved in the last few years. But the thing is that even if I were to have changed out that CVT, the chances of it going bad again probably would have happened. And I just didn't want to invest. I can't. First of all, I can't put in a transmission like that. I don't have the know-how, the experience. That's just not what I do. So the best next case would have been to pay somebody $5,000 to put a new CVT in there, and I wasn't going to get it used. I would have had to buy it new, and that was going to be costing about $2,800 from last I checked, and maybe another $2,000 in labor. So maybe closer to 6,000 than anything. And the thing is this is that sometimes it's cheaper just to go and get a different vehicle because I use that car for work. I drove it to work. It was my everyday driver, and it's like Moneyball. Like, can I get how many home runs can I get out of this guy? How many RBIs can I get out of this car? But the way I translate it to Moneyball is how many miles can I get out of that car? How long? How good is it on gas? How long will it run? And the thing is that, yeah, for work, driving a hoopty, that's what we call it in the neighborhood, a hoopty, just a run-of-the-mill junky car. It's not that it was junky, because that 2012, I bought it brand new, and it was pretty good. I had it for 13 years. I had 180,000 miles on it. In my opinion, it should have went all the way to 200 and past 200,000. I'd already started thinking about getting rid of my Nissan Altima, and you to look around, you start realizing how expensive cars are. And then you're thinking, like, when you buy a car, it's like getting married. It's like having a commitment, a 5-year commitment, unless you go in and you buy cash. And the way the economy's been with the interest rates up the wazoo, I says, I'm not going to go in there and finance a car, pay 7, 8, 15, 12, whatever they're asking as far as finance charges. I'm just not going to do that. I would implore any of you not to put yourself in a trick bag like that and pay these exorbitant, these outrageous interest rates. Don't pay that. Suffer a little bit, save your money, and that's what basically where I'm at right now. I'm in the suffering stage. I ended up receiving another vehicle, and the vehicle worked, but it had a little bit. I actually got the vehicle for free. That's the second vehicle I was speaking of. It was a 2007 Dodge Avenger, and initially the price was great. It was free. I had to put some struts in. I had to get the brakes done. Then what I started realizing is that I started getting a lot of excessive wear on the back tires, and I had taken it in. I started looking at it, and the rear tires, instead of being like this, they were like this. So it was a lot of outer wear on the tire. And the thing about that is that, I drive on them tires for maybe 2.5 weeks. Then the steel thread on the tire would start exposing, and then before not too soon after that, I'd have a flat, and then I'd have two tires that needed to get changed because of the uneven wear. And it happened to me maybe in the year about 3 times that ended up changing tires because of that. And I started getting irritated with that. That's my fault. I did take it in to get checked out. I had the they said, "Well, you gotta get the front wheel alignment done in order for us to check the back and adjust the camber, the adjustable amount, the adjustable mounting on the back." And they looked at it. The actual alignment that they messed around with, they charged me like $500 because of what they had done. They went in the back. They said it's going to cost an additional $1,000 to get the right parts to get it fixed up. You have to understand that car's already, it already had a lot of miles on it. It had over 300,000 miles, and that's being generous because I think it even had more than that. The radiator had gone out because it was so old that the original brackets, the clamps that held the radiator, were giving way, and it started to leak. So I had actually said, "Hey man, I need to get this fixed." So I ended up getting a radiator put in, and it wasn't even that. It was the radiator was fine. It was a leak that went into the engine from the radiator hoses because the clamps were so frayed, so messed up. And we ended up changing that, and the car was running great. And the only problem the was the alignment on the back tires. You'd be driving, you'd hit a couple bumps, and your car would like fishtail, and you just heard the suspension. The car just was. I started feeling unsafe driving that vehicle, so I said, I gotta make a move. I could have anytime at any given moment I could have went down to dealership, signed my life away, or signed my name on a piece of paper, and I would have got a vehicle. I probably would have went. I probably my first instinct would have been to go get a used vehicle, but I got burned on a used vehicle before, and that was the year. That, let me backtrack on this story. When my Nissan Altima went out, it was last year in the summer, right around this time, which would be late August. It was right around the time of the NASCAR races in Chicago, so that was late July, early August. And I had money, I'd been working pretty good, and I said, "Well, let me go get a get me by car, a used car." And I don't know, I got on Facebook. I wanted to get a Toyota Avalon. I went to go check out this Avalon. The thing was sweet, it ran nice, it felt good. And then I had it for about a week, 2 weeks, and I went to take my friend and go get his car, and because he was buying a new car, so he had an extra car, and he asked me, "Do you know anybody that wants my car, my old car? I'm willing to give it away because I don't need it." I said, "No, I got my car. You got your car." So, so that first week or that first 2 weeks, when I took him to get his car, I could not start my car again. The key fob went out. I said, "Oh shit." I mean, I figured I'd have some problems with the car because, it's used, and these little problems will pop up. The car was from 2007, 2008. So first problem, the fob. So I spent 700, 800 bucks to get that. I had to take it to the dealer. I had him replace it there. And I also had to have the radiator looked at. They changed the radiator on that car. It was leaking somewhere again. And it was just like, oh man, I don't even know if this is worth it, what I'm going through. So then when I had got it taken to get checked out at the fob to get the fob checked out, the Toyota technician called me. He's like, "Hey man, you got a lot of leaks under this vehicle, and the suspension really looks bad. It's gonna cost you X amount of money to get this suspension fixed if you need to get it fixed." I said, "Well, I'm gonna go to a local shop instead of going to a dealer and paying dealer prices, which are still paying mechanic prices, which are still up there." And they told me, "Yeah, it would cost about 2,500 bucks to get this car up and running." Well, right there, I already spent $3,000 on the car. Then I spent another 800 bucks on the fob, then 500 bucks on the radiator, Now you want me to spend an extra 2,000 something dollars on the suspension?" I says, "No, no way. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna pay for expensive work on this vehicle." And but what baffled me is the car ran great, and then one day it overheated on me again. I was like, "I just had this fixed." So I said, "This is a money pit. I gotta I'm not the type of person to say, "Hey, I'm gonna sell this vehicle to somebody and just, shuck off my problems." I really am totally against that. I think that's so uncool and so unfair. But you got to figure the whole used car market is like that. People have problems with the car. They don't want to spend the money. They shuck it off. So my thing was, well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take it to I'm going to have it junked. I'm just going to send it to the junkyard. At least there, I know in good conscience that car's gone. So I took a big ass bite in the ass. I lost money doing that. That's a lot of money. 3, 4,000 bucks on a car that didn't even last me a month. I was like, I took a hit. I took a hit, and I was like, "Oh, man, this is terrible." So now I was at the point where, like, maybe I do gotta go buy a car, finance a vehicle, and, so, luckily, I had that friend. He said, "Hey, man, I got this car. You want it?" I says, "Yeah, I'll take it. It's a running vehicle. I gotta work. I need that car." So for whatever reason, this whole year has been up and down. I hadn't been able to get a lot of money accumulated in order to purchase myself a decent vehicle, maybe a 9,000, $10,000 vehicle. So I put the work in on this car as much as I could, and I kept it running, and it still had that problem. Well, I had to get the struts changed. I had to get, but then when it came to getting the alignment on the back, I just didn't. I went a long time without it, and I dealt with the tires being that way. And somewhere along the line, I just got tired of it. I just said, "Hey, I'm not doing this anymore." Excuse me. I'm gonna find another way. I'm gonna find another vehicle, and just gonna I'm just gonna move out of this car. So I started looking around, started really doing my research on what I wanted to get. Did I want to get like a Rav4? Did I want to get a Mitsubishi or a Subaru? Because for my lifestyle, I'm probably better off with like a small SUV, something that if I go get groceries, I can throw it all in the back. I don't have any more young kids, but I do have grandkids. So to be able to transport them, move them around, I just needed two seats in the back, one in the front. I mean, that's basically all I really need. And for the most part, that vehicle is going to be strictly for my work, for work. So as I kept driving that Dodge Avenger 2007, it would just wear on me psychologically because I just didn't feel comfortable in it anymore. It was just time to get rid of that car. And luckily, my friend said, "Hey, I'm selling my Chevy Avalanche. It's only got 140,000 miles on it. I don't really use it. It's in great shape. I mean, it's got rust on it like every GM car from that era does. It's ugly. I hate the rust. But the engine was sound and the transmission is sound. It's got heat. It got air conditioning. It's got a radio. It's got a hatchback. It's got the back bed. It's got everything I could use. I could need." So I said, "Yeah, I'm gonna buy that from you. How much do you want it?" And I was looking at the prices of the Avalanche, and for a car comparable to that, people are asking for 45, 5,500, maybe more. Some cases more. But my friend said, "Hey, 2,000 bucks, it's yours." And I said, "You know what? I'm in, man. I need that vehicle. Uh, yeah, I might be spending more money on gas, but for the most part, I know that it's going to be reliable. Even the red Avenger that I had, the Dodge Avenger, was it was still reliable. It still got me to work. It still made money for me. But like I said, it just started deteriorating on some weird aspect. If it wasn't mechanical, it was just cosmetic. If it wasn't cosmetic, it was just structural. I just didn't like it anymore. It was time to get out of that car. So then I got the Avalanche. I just got that over the weekend, and it's got a couple things wrong with it. The latch won't come up. If that's the biggest problem I got with that vehicle, then I hit a home run because I could buy a replacement latch for $25 and install it myself. And it's not that I'm cheap. It's just I don't want to overpay for something that's not worth it. And the reality of it is that all cars are overpriced. and they're even more overpriced when you add the finance charges to them. And for me, having that Avalanche, it's going to get me through the winter. It's a 4x4. It's going to do what it needs to do for me. But I don't want to stay in that car. I'm going to level up. I want to level up to something newer, of course, something nicer. Sometimes if I want to go out in town, I want to have a nice looking vehicle. It's just something about having it. But I'm just a guy who's against financing large amounts of money and paying a large amount of money for financing. But I sometimes think that we're stuck in a cycle where we almost have to do that kind of stuff. So yeah, let me get back to the Solara. I had the Solara Avalon, Toyota Avalon junked. Then I ended up getting with the Dodge Avenger, and I had that for a year. I made my money with it. That car was free, so anything I made with that car was a bonus. But the price of life costs money, just paying your mortgage, paying your everyday bills. And I says, man, in order for me to buy a new car, I need to pay down a lot of my debt so I can get in and get out of a loan if I need to. So the last year, that's been my focus, and it's just my get me by car. This I'm gonna hold on to. Hopefully, I can hold on to this Chevy Avalanche for a year or two, and then transition into something else, or buy something else and have two vehicles on hand. I cannot stress to you the importance of having a vehicle in the 21st century. I mean, especially me, I have my job, I go to different locations, I go to different jobs, so I have to have a good vehicle. And for that, just in that right there, I am in the trades. So my biggest fear is like, okay, I'm gonna go get this car, and then work slows down and I don't have work, then I'm gonna be worried about paying a car payment. And it's like I don't want to feel that way. I don't My thing is to eliminate all the stress in my life as best as possible. And that's what I did. I says, I'll tough it out. I'm gonna use this Avalanche now. I'm gonna get it up to specs. If it needs any work, which it doesn't, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it going. If the worst thing it has is the rust, then I can live with the rust. Because I know it's not a brand new car, but I know that it's mechanically sound and it's gonna get me to where I got to get. So yeah, this whole last week, it's been about securing my transportation and getting in a vehicle that makes me feel comfortable and secure again. And that's what the Chevy Avalanche does. I'm very happy that now that I have it. And you know, I got other cars on my list that I'm interested in getting. I probably want to get a, it's like I said, a RAV4. They're dependable. The ratings on them are really dependable. I was even thinking of getting a Grand Marquis, an older Grand Marquis driven by old people, because you could get a good deal on those cars, and they're old people cars. I mean, I guess I qualify as an old guy now. And the thing is that gotta always have a backup car. Get Hey, you gotta have money in the bank. You gotta have backup money in case something goes wrong. You gotta have money in the bank. You gotta have extra car. You have to have your options open, and that's what I would tell any young person or any adult person. Like, always have always have a backup plan, because when you don't have a backup plan, you get cornered. And we're living in an era where it's easy to get cornered. Where something happens, you lose work. Now you got to find more work, or you lose a job because of your age. All these things are. I'm 56 years old, and I'm slowly seeing the opportunity and the ability of stuff like that happening. So I'm over here thinking like I got to make a backup plan. I gotta have a way out, and that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna have multiple vehicles. When you have multiple vehicles, then you have multiple insurance, car insurance. And you got you got to make sure you're not giving one car more attention than the other, because when you don't use a vehicle or a mechanical machine, it creates complications for that. So that's why I didn't really ever want to really have a backup car. I had a van a couple years ago, and I never used it. I didn't even cruise it or anything, because I just didn't see any need. I had bought it because I wanted to be able to transport a couple things, a couple jukeboxes. But I didn't even do that much. So I said, I don't need two cars. And then I turned out that I did need two cars, you know. But as far as things go, I'm happy with the Avalanche. Now I find myself devouring YouTube videos on avalanches because I like to know exactly what I have. And I actually like to mod out where you can put a tent on the back. So I have grandkids, and I like to, I took we ended up camping out in the backyard, and they're at that age where to them it's just the greatest thing. You're camping out, you're eating hot dogs, you're hanging out in the yard. I mean, it's fun. It's fun if you have grandkids. It's fun if you're a kid. So where I'm at now, I want to take them on a bigger trip. So now with this vehicle, I'll be able to do that. And I've been watching a lot of videos on YouTube that show people that actually sleep in their vehicles. And I started thinking to myself, like, well, there's times that I go on road trips to different jobs, and maybe sleeping out of my car, camping out of my car could save me some money. I mean, I hate to say that because it makes me sound like I'm incredibly cheap, but I'm really not that cheap, or I'm not really cheap at all. But just the way things have been, I'm starting to think like, look, man, you gotta watch. Everything's gone up in price. Everything, hotel rooms, eggs, clothes. I mean, I went to McDonald's last week. I spent $30. That was me and my grandkid, and then they got my order wrong, and I got gypped out of like $8 because you get home and you look, okay, I wanted two Big Macs, two Big Mac meals. That's like $16. Then I wanted order of chicken chicken nuggets. That's like 6, $7 or whatever it is. And we ordered an order of I ordered two cheeseburgers just like to top it off. Guess what? They didn't put the cheeseburgers in order. You're home and you're like, I'm looking around. I don't have the phone number because you buy everything on apps now, or I didn't have a damn receipt. And I was just like, oh man, I hate McDonald's now. It's just, I mean, if I take my grandkids, like I'm saying, I'm spending like $50 for burgers. Are you kidding me? Those same meals I could have got for $10 back in the day, 10, $12, 16 at the most. Now it's like double the price. McDonald's ain't that great where I gotta have that. So yeah, in this new economy and this new world, I'm pretty picky about my choices. I'm pretty picky about where I eat now. Pretty picky about like if I go to a baseball game, I'm gonna spend $200 just hanging out. I mean, I guess that's average. Maybe I'm living behind the times, but I know things got more expensive. But there's certain places that you go to and they just gouge you and you take everything you got and more if they can do it. And you just got to be tougher than that. You got to be smarter than that and not let them do that to you. So yeah, you're gonna have to spend money sooner or later. Do depends on where you like to go. You go somewhere if we're gonna go on somewhere, like you better eat before we go out because we're not gonna spend all this money on food. Going to work and spending money at eating out every day, big no no for me. Even though I do it to some extent, I do it, but I know it's a big expenditure of money, and you will get bled that way. They will nickel and dime you to death if you let them. So you got to be tough on yourself. You got to draw the line. It's like, no, I can't. I got to put this money in my pocket, and it's just like it's the new economy, man. It's designed to drain you of money, and it's doing a real good job of that. Another thing I'm talking about is I was hacked on Facebook. I was at work. I got a message on Facebook. Hey, buddy, can you help me out? I'm thinking, oh, yeah, I know this guy. Yeah, what do you need? For whatever dumb reason, I thought I was helping the guy retrieve a password like a dumbass. I took his I gave him the password. He says, give me your phone number. I'm gonna have him send you a code. The little I realized that after I did it that code was access to my Facebook, and I felt like a clown because it's just like I gave this person complete control of my Facebook. And then when I realized it, I said, "You hacked me, didn't you?" And he sent a crying emoji, like, "Yeah, I hacked you. Now what?" So I was like, it messed me up for the rest of the day. I went home and I said, "I'm gonna call all my friends that I have contact information to and with through the phone and through Facebook, and I'm going to tell them that I was hacked and not to accept anything that comes across on the, over to Facebook. And the thing is that I I, I did a decent job, but there was still some people that, I'm glad they called me and said, "Hey, is that you?" I go, "No, that's not me. That's why I sent you that message. Don't accept anything or respond to anything over Facebook Messenger because I got hacked." Then I contacted Facebook. They're useless. They don't do nothing for you. I got to the point where I said, "You know what I would like to do?" I thought about it. Said I even got a picture of that the person that hacked me because we did we followed their email and we seen their face on a money app, like they send you money, and oh, they changed it to my picture now. So it's just it's on the Cash app, and I'm angry about that. So I thought to myself, like, how can I get this person? And like, how, because Facebook don't do nothing for you. I lost the account. I feel terrible because all the people that follow me or are with me, now they're potential victims. Even if I did warn them, who's to say that they don't forget about that and like they ended up getting tricked again or getting tricked like I got tricked. So I thought to myself, like, you know what I should do? I should learn how to get on a dark web and hire a hacker from the dark web and have that hacker go and get my passwords back and put a hurting on that person just so they know like they mess with the wrong dude. That's actually what I've been thinking about is like in some weird way I got to find some kind of retribution and regain my if I were to be able to do that and I regain my password and I regained control of my account, then I would deactivate my Facebook because I feel I have to penalize myself somehow. I have to say like no, I just left a real bad taste in my mouth and I just can't be on Facebook for a while. And it just really irked me. And like I said, I'm not gonna fade into obscurity, but hopefully I was gonna say hopefully my account does, but that's never gonna happen because that's my digital footprint. It's on there forever. So the best thing I can do, like I said, is I warn people and hopefully they unfriended me and they just move on away from that. And the thing is that I still get calls, people asking me, "Is that you? Is that you?" Or no, it's not me, it's a hacker. And that's why I sent you that message. So yeah, in my mind's eye, I'm thinking like dark web, get a hacker of my own and go to war and get this guy and destroy his. I don't want nothing from that person, but I would like to have him stop messing with my stuff. So see what happens. That'll be definitely a cool story to be able to share with you. Unless if it's illegal, I might not be able to share that with you. But I've not taken any action on that. I've not done anything of that sort out there. So yeah, this is me filming my Digital Moxie podcast live. Uh, and the thing is that this is a consistency that I want to have. Start reaching a broader audience. Start building my watch time hours. So if you sit here and you watch me for a couple of minutes, I would appreciate that. The reality is that you can't build watch hours through through your shorts. You have to have like a million views in order to get X amount of minutes for your watch time. So as I build my as I build my YouTube channel, I realize that I need to start posting more lives and hopefully build an audience and entertain you guys, engage with you guys, and build a community. And the only way I can do that is with you. So if you can like, share, and subscribe, I totally appreciate it. If you have any commentary that you want to leave me down below, I would love it. I'm about as real as it comes. You ask me a straight up question, I'll give you a straight up answer. And if interaction is what you crave, then you've come to the right station or right channel. And the thing is that if you have the time and you enjoy what I'm my what I'm speaking of, then hey, join me, subscribe to my channel, Digital Moxie. I'm Eddie V, your host, and I appreciate you. I appreciate the time that you share with me, and I'll see you at the end of the rainbow, or I like to say, I'll see you on the flip side. So I'm gonna end this live. Thank you.